Alrighty, everyone, is Supreme Kami over here. So I have myself a tech GPU free-to-play build over here. So what we're gonna do in today's video is actually gonna be taking on the limited time multi-mission boss over here. So since this week around we do have a speed GPU perfect strike Gundam, so why not build something that's revolving around tech GPU and then using some standard parts as well as some event part and see if I can potentially take down the extreme stage or the ultimate stage over here. So let me actually go to some rundowns of the parts that I'm using and what kind of war tech that we're dealing with over here. So our word that we have over here is going to be pro tech, close combat, and mobile fighters. So going to be your standard melee traits or your war tags over here. So I actually did apply this onto your skin already, so you guys are not going to see the actual part on itself. But in terms of some part that I am using is going to be using a swallow over here. So going to exceed the big scale. Pair that up with the master Gundam head, so you can get mobile fighter tag as well as pro tag over here. Not bad. Up next we have the Master Gundam and the N3 over here. So this is going to be a event part, and this is one of the more powerful event parts you're looking at that has alteration. So this one actually going to give you some buffy skill effects by 15%. So if that 15% is actually not bad, definitely something that is workable in terms of the free to play RAM, I gotta say. And then when buffed it, melee power boosted by 30%. So that is really powerful right there. Up next we have some newly alterated, this one is not really new alteration parts in terms of the standard, but more one of the well-known ones to be looking at over here. So this one's going to be the Gundam belt. Unfortunately I don't really have a max out, so if you are looking at the max property, you are looking at a 30 to 35 split ratio. So this is one of the more powerful standard melee arms to be using. So if you guys are able to get this one, this is definitely one of the better investments to be looking at. So this one unfortunately is going to lock you down to leg, but I mean, like, it's kind of whatever. You're still getting that 35% at the end, so not bad. I subslot this one to the big scale XCS, so I can get protect right there, so not bad for sure. Up next we do have the Master Gundam plus the Gundam Ixia. Unfortunately, first portrait, the portrait is not going to activate, but what we're primarily using is definitely going to be the secondary portrait. Mobile fighter getting that 32% power boosting, EXU power boosting, so this is a very powerful setup right there. In terms of the backpack, we are using the Master Gundam plus the Gundam Maxter. So the Maxter actually gives us a 22% buff EX effect, so this one is definitely quite a powerful iteration to be running as well. I can actually, I don't know which one is higher, but I can actually maybe use this one. Yeah, let me use this one instead. So this one, in terms of the H Titus right here, this one actually revolve around this. No, never mind. Excuse me. So this one is actually going to work for your P attribute instead. So this one is definitely the more powerful iteration. But in terms of this one, the Maxer, I think it does this job very well, no problem. So up next we have the Bell Sword as well. So this one is a very good melee weapon for a free-to-play player, because this one is like, look at those stats. Those stats are really high for a standard parts with the alteration. And in terms of the portrait over here, so double EXU power boosting, so 30 to 35 split, you can't go wrong with that. So, but this one is only going to be for your tech GPU and then an end fighter. But I mean, like, it's too good not to kind of have this overall setup right here. So that's going to be that right there. And I subslot that to the big scale XC. One of those XC is a melee weapon right there, so I can get myself a pro tech right here as well. So that is very good indeed. Up next we do have the big scale XCS ranged weapon. Compare that, or just kind of pair that up to the Hakashiki. This one primarily I just needed some extra melee defense for that converging gears, so that's not bad. This one unfortunately I don't have it at max, so I can't really get some EX skill rolling on in like the first few seconds of the match, so that is unfortunate right there. And then up next we do have the XCS shield, and then pair that up with the Fusion Shield right there. So this one would be really powerful if I can get this up to a level 10, obviously, because this one is offering one of those buff EX skill effects. So we do have some pretty good standard part that has some buff EX skill effects. They will definitely be a lot more better at max out. Just unfortunately I can't get that to max out right now, but it is what it is. And up next we have the pilot, we have Domokashu. This one I believe is the Mira Shin version of it, so all power boosted, so it could be up to 30%, but I don't have it at this point in time, unfortunately. And then last but not least, in terms of the subslot, we subslot that to Yuri right there, so a perfect matching right there. So that is going to give me up to a 20 0.5% subslot, transfer there. So that's actually pretty good. So in terms of all these parts that I have used in this video, those are standard parts and the event part. You can definitely find all these within the alteration page, and then under the favorite tab, you guys can just kind of go through the list, and we have a lot. Recently they have been releasing a lot of good standard unit with alteration, so that is definitely a very big W just for anyone that is not able to, let's say, get any Soul Calibur parts, because these are probably the next best tier parts we keep a look at that. So let me kind of go back into my build real quick, and then in terms of the EX skill that we will be using, we are actually going to be using an alpha sub of beta, or the alpha up here. So this one's going to be a 49% attack right there. But do keep in mind, I do have some buff EX skill effects. I have 15, 22 as well as 6 right there, so that would, these right here will actually get added on to the 49%, so we will be able to output just a little bit more. Up next, we do have a bicep. So bicep is probably going to be the last EX skill that I will be executing, just because one of those traits actually just gives me a 35% EX skill power boosting to the leg specifically. So in terms of the last one that we will have on here is actually going to be the Quantum Force type. So this one is going to be from your the welfare double command quanta. So this one is going to be a very utility wise good EX good to be using as well. So I'll probably activate this one first. So first things first, we'll activate this one, then go on to this one, and then finish things out with bicep. So I think we should be able to do a pretty good chunks of damage as well. So this is going to be the overall build. So it's going to be in a kind of like a darker shade of a color separation, or this kind of paint scheme I have right there. And then last but not least, I feel like I do need to kind of go over the gear as well with you guys. So I have nearly all the maxed out parts in terms of the gears right here. So the first 3 is going to be maxed out. I don't really have the 4-star version of the mobile fighter tag or the mobile fighter gear yet, but I do have the pro tag, and you guys can see that even with the 4-star pro tag, it does not rival up to the 3-star mobile fighter gear. So that's why I can't really use the the pro tag one. So unfortunately, and then last but not least, we also do have the tech attribute left leg gear, so I will be able to do an additional 10% to speed attribute enemy right there as well. So let me actually hop into, or just start things up with the EX stage. I want to see if I can take that on. Then after that, I'll hop back into using or doing the ultimate stage and see how we can do. Like I said again, we are going to hop into the extreme stage first. So in terms of the recommended combat power, it's only 900,000, so this is definitely going to be a breeze, I gotta say, but we'll see. We'll definitely see how we can do in this one. We are in, but unfortunately I won't be able to execute any EX skill within a short timer right here, because all my EX skill are still under that first time kind of cooldown right there, so we just gotta wait a little bit. So I can actually just, ooh, whoa, hey, what are you doing? Activate this right there, and then I'll actually rush up right there, and okay, let me see how much this one is actually gonna do. Is this one actually going to, oh, we doing a lot of damage right there. Hello, 2.9, that's actually really good. So bicep is definitely gonna clean the map right here. And what are we doing? Okay, 5 million, I'll take that. That's actually really good in terms of looking at it at the perspective of only standard part. That is really good, so not bad. I'm definitely taking that. So let me see if I apply the same build on, let's say, the ultimate stage. I just want to see what we can actually do. So yeah, we'll hop into the next difficulty then. So we're now looking at the ultimate stage. So in terms of the recommended combat power, is like what, 1.5 million, but in terms of 1.5 million, it's not gonna get you anywhere. It does not mean you can kind of clear it. It's just kind of like a more or less like a recommendation, something you should be at before hopping in. But we'll see how this build right here is going to fare against the ultimate stage difficulty. This is definitely gonna be the showtime for this guy right here. So ultimate stage, no support. It's only gonna be me, myself, and I. And we'll see what we can do. So we're gonna wait for him to do all that. Let me activate this first. So we do have a pretty good timer on that, right? So activate that right there, and let me, ooh, I can't even block actually. Alright, so the backpack EX go first, and let me see what we can, oh no, we're not doing anything. We're not doing any good damage at all. That was like 3 million, but we didn't do anything. Alright, bicep time, and what can we do? Please, please, give me some good number. Wow, we only did 1/3 of his health. Are you kidding me? Maybe, yeah, like, I don't know, maybe a quarter. That sucks. I'm upset now. I am upset. You can just kill me right now, please. this enemy, what? Oh my gosh, we only did 1/3, like roughly about 1/3 to like a 1/4 quarter. Wow, that is insane. Like, yeah, they definitely pack a lot of armor compared to like the extreme difficulty, and then versus the ultimate. Like ultimate, I was able to do roughly about 4 million, and like in there, like with that one the bat EX skill, and then hopping into the bicep, we were able to do 5 million. So applying the same strategy on this one, the ultimate stage, did nothing. So I mean, like, that is definitely going to be the limitation in terms of standard parts, just because they don't really have all those like extremely good power boosting. Not going to be like, oh, you're 20 or let's say you're 40% trait. We really don't have anything that for that respect in terms of for your standard part. So that is definitely going to be the unfortunate factor. I just feel like I'm liking a lot of like in terms of this overall build. There's just so many spots where I could benefit from like a actually good double power boosting trait, but like these two right here, they're not activating, right? So that's unfortunate. This one is just skipping out too low right there, so that's definitely not cutting it. Missing part rate, bad. Like these traits right here, they're definitely not helping out. Something like this one over here, so not really that not that good either. It's not really contributing to the overall damage. So overall, in terms of this iteration of the standard build, we're just missing so many key important power boosting that did not allow us to just push further, I gotta say. But in terms of the EX stage, definitely no problem. You can kind of breeze through it at ease, I gotta say, in terms of this build. But in terms of the bonus round, let me actually hop into my own melee build. This is gonna be the the all offensive build, all the double 40% trait, all the buff EX effects. So I think this build right here, you guys can definitely take a look at the part trait. This is definitely a more modernized. This is definitely something that you want in today's meta, I gotta say. Not really in today's meta, but something like this can definitely allow you to just clear any event, no problem. But with this build, let me do hop into the ultimate stage and show you guys what this build can do. I will have to say overall, it's definitely going to be coming down to the overall stat. Those buff EX effects definitely helps a lot in terms of trying to output a lot of damage. So we are going to be trying out the same setup. Going to be using the command quantum backpack first, and what are we doing? 1.2 or no, 12 million right there, not 1.2. And then last but not least, we got the bicep right here, and see what the bicep can do. And what are we doing? 2.4. Okay, casually a 2.4 million or 24 million. That's insane. So we went from doing 5 million bicep damage to doing like a 24.8. So that's I mean, that's simply the difference between some good, part rate and then stat. It's just this right here is just a plain example of like how good SoCal parts can be compared to, let's say, standard part. But don't get me wrong, SoCal standard part can still be very good if you do build this right correctly, definitely. In terms of this tech attribute, I just feel like for tech attribute, there's definitely right now it's looking really good with those those belt weaponries, those arms, and then those melee weapons are definitely something you want to try to max them out. I feel like if we were able to max out everything in terms of the arms and then the melee weapon, we should be able to get a better output, I gotta say, because in terms of my own personal melee build, that one is nearly maxed out in terms of the part rate that we were looking at. So that's why you were able to see a damage of like 24.8 million. So that being said, that's gonna be pretty much it. So I just want to quickly show you guys what standard parts can do nowadays. In terms of overall output, what it's actually doing now, pushing almost to that 100,000. That's actually pretty good in terms of how we look like. So that being said, that's gonna be pretty much it, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.